Welcome to the Transitions Daily podcast. Transitions Daily is an online recovery group that offers a daily distribution of popular recovery resources accompanied by a secret Facebook group for discussion. We hope you enjoy today's readings.
This is Transitions Daily, June 18th, read by Craig M. from Denny, Scotland. AA thought for the day. Resentment. Resentment is the number one offender. It destroys more alcoholics than anything else. From it stem all forms of spiritual disease, for we have not only mentally and physically ill, we have been spiritually sick. When the spiritual malady is overcome, we straighten out mentally and physically. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 64. Thought to consider. We are prisoners of our own resentments. Forgiveness unlocks the door and sets us free. Acronyms. Failure. Fearful, arrogant, insecure, lonely, uncertain, resentful, empty. Just for today. Service and support from the joys of service. In Denver in 1975, at the International Convention, I heard many great things, but one that stands out is this. The key to happiness is not to concentrate on yourself, but to lose yourself in others. I like what Carl W. told our group when he ended his talk with these words for the new people. Let us love you until you can learn to love yourself. From 1993, The Home Group, A Heartbeat of AA, page 51. Daily Reflections. A Fellowship of Freedom. If only men were granted absolute liberty and were compelled to obey no one, they would then voluntarily associate themselves in the common interest. From Bill Sees It, page 50. When I no longer live under the dictates of another or of alcohol, I live in a new freedom. When I release the past and all the excess baggage I have carried for so very long, I come to know freedom. I have been introduced into life and a fellowship of freedom. The steps are a recommended way of finding a new life. There are no commands or dictates in AA. I am free to serve from desires rather than decree. There is an understanding that I will benefit from the growth of other members, and I take what I learn and bring it back to the group. The common welfare finds room to grow in the society of personal freedom. As Bill sees it, learning never ends. My experience as an old-timer has to some degree paralleled your own and that many of others. We all find that the time comes when we are not allowed to manage and conduct the functional affairs of groups, areas, or, in my case, AA, as a whole. In the end, we can only be worth as much as our spiritual example has justified. To that extent, we become useful symbols, and that is just about it. That's from our letter in 1964. I have become a pupil of the AA movement rather than the teacher I once thought I was. That's from a letter 1949. Big Book quote. We tried to shape a sane and sound ideal for our future sex life. We subjected each relation to this test. Was it selfish or not? We asked God to mould our ideals and help us to live among them. We remembered always that our sex powers were God-given and therefore good, neither to use lightly or selfishly, nor to be despised and loathed. From Alcoholics Anonymous 4th edition, How It Works, page 69. 24 hours a day. The AA way of living is not an easy one, but is an adventure in living that is really worthwhile, and it's not so much better than our old drunken way of living that there's no comparison. Our lives without AA would be worth nothing. With AA, we have a chance to live reasonably good lives. It is worth the battle, no matter how tough the going is from day to day. Isn't it worth the battle? Meditation for the day. The spiritual life has two parts. One is the life apart, the life of prayer and quiet communion with God. You spend this part of your life apart with God. Every day your mind can be set in the right direction so that your thoughts will be of the right kind. The other is a life of impart, imparting to others that you have learned from your own meditative experience. The victories you have won over yourself through the help of God can be shared with others. You can help them by imparting to them some of the victory and security that you have gained in your life apart. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may grow strong from my times apart with God. I pray that I may pass on some of His strength to others. It's from Hazeldean Foundation, PO Box 176, Center City, MN 55012. This is Transitions Daily. My name's Craig, and I'm an alcoholic.
We hope you enjoyed today's readings. You can also receive Transitions Daily via email and discuss today's readings in our secret Facebook group. So for more information, go to dailyaaemails.com today.
Other than the 24 hours a day reading, unless otherwise specified, all quotes copyright Alcoholics Anonymous World Services, Inc., 1952, 1957, 1967, 1973, 1975, 1976, 1980, 1981, 1984, 1985, 1988, 1990, or 2001.